taking the good with the ups and downs. I wanna see how the world turns round. Let's go adventure in the deep blue sea. Home is with you wherever that may be. Home is with you wherever that may be.
Now that we've arrived here, I would not change a thing. Knew that we'd survive here and all the goodness we would bring. Of this I sing. Everybody swimming in sunshine, everybody feeling fine. Everybody join the front line, ain't nobody left behind. Everybody swimming in sunshine, everybody feeling fine. Everybody join the front line, ain't nobody left behind. Everybody swimming.
Taking the good with the ups and downs. I wanna see how the world turns round. Let's go adventure in the deep blue sea. Home is with you wherever that may be. Home is with you wherever that may be.
Now that we've arrived here, I would not change a thing. Knew that we'd survive here and all the goodness we would bring. Of this I sing. Everybody swimming in sunshine, everybody feeling fine. Everybody join the front line, ain't nobody left behind. Everybody swimming in sunshine, everybody feeling fine. Everybody join the front line, ain't nobody left behind. Everybody swimming.
Taking the good with the ups and downs. I wanna see how the world turns round. Let's go adventure in the deep blue sea. Home is with you wherever that may be. Home is with you wherever that may be.
Now that we've arrived here, I would not change a thing. Knew that we'd survive here and all the goodness we would bring. Of this I sing. Everybody swimming in sunshine, everybody feeling fine. Everybody join the front line, ain't nobody left behind. Everybody swimming in sunshine, everybody feeling fine. Everybody join the front line, ain't nobody left behind. Everybody swimming.
ups and downs. I wanna see how the world turns round. Let's go adventure in the deep blue sea. Home is with you wherever that may be. Home is with you wherever that may be.
Now that we've arrived here, I would not change a thing. Knew that we'd survive here and all the goodness we would bring. Of this I sing. Everybody swimming in sunshine, everybody feeling fine. Everybody join the front line, ain't nobody left behind. Everybody swimming in sunshine, everybody feeling fine. Everybody join the front line, ain't nobody left behind. Everybody swimming.
Taking the good with the ups and downs. I wanna see how the world turns round. Let's go adventure in the deep blue sea. Home is with you wherever that may be. Home is with you wherever that may be.
would not change a thing. Knew that we'd survive here and all the goodness we would bring. Of this I sing. Everybody swimming in sunshine, everybody feeling fine. Everybody join the front line, ain't nobody left behind. Everybody swimming in sunshine, everybody feeling fine. Everybody join the front line, ain't nobody left behind. Everybody swimming.
Taking the good with the ups and downs. I wanna see how the world turns round. Let's go adventure in the deep blue sea. Home is with you wherever that may be. Home is with you wherever that may be.
Now that we've arrived here, I would not change a thing. Knew that we'd survive here and all the goodness we would bring. Of this I sing. Everybody swimming in sunshine, everybody feeling fine. Everybody join the front line, ain't nobody left behind. Everybody swimming in sunshine, everybody feeling fine. Everybody join the front line, ain't nobody left behind. Everybody swimming.
the ups and downs. I wanna see how the world turns round. Let's go adventure in the deep blue sea. Home is with you wherever that may be. Home is with you wherever that may be.
Too keen to get started. Okay, I'm right now. I'd like to begin by acknowledging the traditional custodians of the land in which we meet today, the Darumbal people. Pay my respects to elders past, present and emerging. I'd also like to extend the respect to the neighbouring Aboriginal peoples within our local government area, the Yangaloo Nation people, the Barada, the Cabal and the Yetimalara people, and also acknowledge the Torres Strait Islander people whose lands is in the Torres Strait but live and work on Aboriginal land. Then we'll move on to our apologies, and we have apologies there from Councillor Wickerson and also the Mayor, and that's so we don't have to move that, do we? No. Confirmation of the minutes of the previous meeting, that was on the 4th of October. Someone happy to move that they be true and correct? Councillor Smith, seconded. Councillor Latcham. All those in favour? And that's carried. Okay, any interest to glare in matters on this agenda? And we do have
10.3.
Councillor Smith.
Oh yeah, thanks, Mr. Mayor. Deputy Mayor, sorry. 10.3, it lists Mount Morgan Water Treatment Plant, but further over in the report it talks about the pipeline project. So I have a prescribed conflict of interest, as my nephew Adam McAvoy is a partner in MTC Hire, who has a contract to cart water from Gracemere to Mount Morgan on behalf of council, and my brother John McAvoy is employed, and also my nephew Tim McAvoy is also employed to drive the MTC trucks. I will deal with the conflict by leaving the meeting when the topic of Mount Morgan water supply pipeline is discussed, including any areas set aside for the public, or stay while the eligible councillors discuss and vote on the matter.
Thank you. No other interest to declare? If not, we'll... Do we move that or? No, it's just... Okay, on to no business outstanding, no public forums or deputations, no presentation of petitions, no council or delegate reports. So we move on to item 10.1, which is in the officers' reports, and the reuse shop and community recycling centre update, and invite Michael to the lectern. And Gazelle too, sorry Gazelle.
Is our new coordinator of waste and recycling facilities. So Ben, this is week 5. Environmental engineer comes to us from a remote, or not really remote, a Western New South Wales local government area, let's put it that way. So moved up with his family, wife and 2 children, who've already got into school, and I think your wife's got a job. Yeah. So, and in addition to Ben, I've got an engineer who started with us about 2 months ago as well, which is going well, and we've got a new supervisor as well over at looking after all of our facilities, which is going well. So for the first time in probably at least 12 months, we've actually got a full management team. So it's very, very good place at the moment.
Thanks, Michael. Welcome, welcome, Ben. Okay, Gazelle, floor's yours.
Good morning, Deputy Mayor, councillors. So the purpose of this report today is to present to you the annual report for Resource Recovery Australia, who is our contractor in place, who provide the operational services and supervision services of our Reviva reuse shop, our community recycling centre and the waste transfer station. So Resource Recovery Australia, otherwise known as RRA, are a social enterprise and registered charity, and their report, which you can read in detail, it does provide how they have met with their obligations under the contract, but also some of their big achievements that they have had throughout the financial year of 22-23. So in particular, the reuse shop and community recycling centre have become major assets for us in waste diversion, community engagement and creating that connection to circular economy. So just a couple of the highlights that we have had through this company in the last financial year. They provided 31 employment opportunities to persons experiencing barriers to employment. So those barriers, there's a whole range of them, but a couple to note would be early school leavers, those facing numeracy and literacy barriers, Indigenous people, work for the adult participants and people with disabilities. Within those employment opportunities, they did provide over 90 training opportunities, and that's anywhere from your customer service training, CPR and your first aid, all the way through to forklift licensing and MR licensing. When it comes to diversion of waste, they diverted over 300 tonnes of waste from landfill, and that's straight through to their reuse shops. So those are items that are going straight back out into our community to be reused, repurposed, repaired or upcycled. They also donated 5 tonnes to other local charities, so they do have commitment to our community and environmental sustainability. They processed over 3,600 mattresses for us, and for those who don't know, mattresses are quite a problem waste when it comes to landfills. Their customer base, so the next couple of figures are the most significant, and that is in that their customer base, it grew by an additional 5,000. So previous year they served 15,000 customers, and yeah, the 22-23 financial year is 20,000 customers. They also increased their revenue through the shop by over 100,000, and council do hold a profit share in that amount. So Resource Recovery Australia, they do manage reuse shops, waste transfer stations, landfills, community recycling centres throughout Queensland, ACT and New South Wales, and this shop does have the highest daily average spend, and that goes through it, so that just speaks to the success of this shop. Their social media presence has just really increased over the last financial year. Their Facebook page was actually viewed 729,000 times. And also they do have their national reuse, repair, repurpose competition as part of National Recycling Week. And last year, the National Children's Prize winner was actually taken out by a Rockhampton youth. So they are making some real steps within the Rockhampton community to making sure that they're established here, they're making those community connections, and they are enforcing those circular economy principles. And for those of you who have been to Lakes Creek Road recently, you'll notice that the Community Recycling Centre, when you go through the area, is very well maintained. You're always greeted by an attendant who does help you unload, and they always do provide accurate directions now around our site. And if you do go through the reuse shop, you can see the nice displays that are set up. It's very engaging, and that speaks to how many customers have gone through there and their revenue that has been raised in the last year. So all in all, it's a very commendable example of both RRA's and Council's commitment to reaching that circular economy and achieving our long-term goal of zero waste by 2040, I think now it is, since we shortened that time frame. And also implementing those initiatives of our resource recovery strategy. It's a significant step towards that and a sustainable and more environmentally friendly community. So as part of National Recycling Week this month, this Saturday on the 11th, we'll be having our Upcycle Village Fair. It's also the weekend of the National Garage Sale Trail, which I do invite you all to. I'm sure that you've already gotten the invite. Any questions?
Any questions there? Councillor Mathers.
Thank you very much, Deputy Mayor. I'd just like to just to comment, actually, if that's all right, it's probably through to Michael and the team. I just wanted to say that it wasn't that long ago I had to go and use the Lakes Creek landfill, and I was greeted by someone who gave me directions to where I needed to go. The thing I really liked was not only did I go to that area, at the station, they came over and helped me unload, which I thought was really good. Then I came back with a load of green waste, and I took the green waste down, and there was a lovely lady down there who I had a bit of a chat with. She came in, asked me how my day was going, and proceeded to help me unload the green waste as well. And she could have just stood there as well, but she was actually getting in, and I noticed as I was leaving, she went to the next trailer and started helping them. So I just think that's a really good look for the organisation, and also I think they're doing a great job, and it is looking quite tidy down there as well. So just wanted to make that comment.
Councillor Rutherford. I was going to go around the table.
Come around, I'll finish up.
Councillor Rutherford.
Oh, just a comment as well, and what an amazing story, really great story, and one of those, quiet achievements I think that we have so often and need to promote a little bit more. When I read this report, I just thought, wow, that's really, really good stuff. And Giselle, thank you for presenting it. It's a wonderful story in so many areas, and that's the thing, that it touches just about every area you could possibly hope for. So congratulations to everybody.
Thank you, Councillor Rutherford. Councillor Smith.
Yeah, no question, but just some comments. So I think it's a wonderful facility, and I'm just annoyed with myself that I haven't been back since the official opening when they had a little auction, and I bought nearly quite a few things. So now I've got two to go to, Rocky and Gracemere. So I'm really excited about that. It is really well run, and everything's clean in there. Like, it's not like you're going into a second-hand shop. But just with the fair that you're having on Remembrance Day, there was quite a few comments on Facebook about it. Usually Anzac Day, I used to play golf on Anzac Day, but you couldn't start till 12 o'clock. And I just thought it could have started after 11. There was quite a few comments on Facebook regarding that, starting at 9 o'clock. So I just wondered if we could just look at that in the future.
Giselle, that's probably something to...
If I may respond through the chair. Yes, Remembrance Day, we do have some activities planned on the day for it. So all of our staff, we've had a volunteer that's actually crocheted poppies for everyone to wear. We also will be doing poppies by the face painter on children's faces. In the craft corner, where we'll be doing upcycled Christmas paper, we'll have poppies on it as well. And come 11 a.m, we will be doing the Minute of Silence.
Thank you for that. I think that's probably something that we might need to get out to the public as well, because a lot of people will just sort of bear up without realising that you're doing something.
Yeah, that's a great initiative.
Yes.
So playing the last post as well, I presume. So that's really good that we're acknowledging that. And I think it would be a good idea to put that back on Facebook and probably get a lot more people go as well.
Definitely. Councillor Kirkland.
Well, thanks, Mr. Chair. Just definitely, if you could relay back to RRA for us, just congratulations on the awards, on just the entire initiative, and certainly all of the touch points there. It's it really truly does embrace circular economy, just the way that they are engaging those with barriers to employment and then all of the traineeships that they've done, over 90 I think you said traineeships, which is just fabulous. All of the entire thing, the entire program is such a good news story for our community. So to just say thank you, Giselle, from us back to the organisation. Thank you.
Councillor Latcham, who has been very, very busy with this.
Yeah, thanks, Mr Deputy Mayor, and through to Giselle. Giselle, well done. What a great report. A lot of positive stories in this one. I love the fact that we've met all the KPIs that are associated with it. That's great. Just a question on that one. Is it done internally or externally on the KPI, whether they're maintaining that?
Through the Chair. So the KPIs, they're something that I'm met with on every month through now the new coordinator and their representatives. So it is monitored monthly. So this report, the main report, is provided by RRA, so it is their contribution as part of their contract to provide us with this annual report. And yes, those KPIs are set by council. There are more compliance KPIs, so in terms of safety, but we do have some targets that we do like to meet over there in regards to revenue,
Yep.
Obviously because we do have a profit share there as well. But yeah, the KPIs are something that are met on a monthly basis, and they are determined by council.
Okay. Just following on, thank you for that. Like Councillor Mather said, every time you go down there, it's a positive experience. You go down there and the staff are happy to come out. They actually come out with a smile, which is great to see. And they want to help. They actually want to see what they can sort and salvage. And they're very helpful across the board. The shop itself is very clean. It's very organised. I know they probably want to go one step better, but they've hit the ground running from when they first took on the contract. And they've only done nothing but continuous improvement every step of the way. So it's great to see that they've taken it on and they're doing their best. And they're training their staff as well, which is great to see. So well done to everyone across the board, and well done to Michael and the team for putting this together. And this looks to be a continual great story for the region. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Latcham. And again, I echo those words. It's when we look at what it was even 5-10 years ago to what it is now, it is actually, every step of the way we're leading the way in regional Queensland with waste management and recycling. So credit to everybody. So no further questions. Councillor Latcham, you're happy to move. Seek a seconder. Councillor Mathers, all those in favour? And that's carried. Thank you for that. Okay. Across to Peter there with 10.2, the monthly project status reports for civil ops.
Yes, thank you, Chair. I'm going to present both the project reports this morning because both those managers are absent. So let's jump onto the civil ops report. The key in this is that, and you probably don't pick it up, but we are off to a very good start, probably one of the best starts I've seen for civil operations.
That's good.
So our expenditure and the number of projects active and being completed for the first quarter are much greater. We normally have a bit of a slow start, and you'll see us that we're behind all the way, but we've got off to a very good start, which is obviously a credit to the planning of the projects. Okay, so there's a number of major projects underway. Scrubby Creek, you'll see some photos in there, which is well underway. That has cost us a bit more. The demolition costs were a higher attended cost than we expected. But you hear this too often now, don't you? And there were some service adjustments in that particular project. The rural program's going okay. We are still suffering from some turnover and recruitment issues, so later in the program we will be looking at whether we have to put some out as minor contracts and tender some of the work, but we'll judge that as we go forward. So I'm happy to take any questions on the report from...
Councillor Smith?
Thanks, Peter, and a really good report. And I haven't touched base with Councillor Rutherford either, but at the last Waikaba ratepayers meeting, at the end of the meeting, Mr Hanrahan said what a great job we did of Hanrahan's Crossing, and to congratulate all the workers and whoever planned it, designed it, etc., and everyone agreed. So if you could relay that to everyone who had a part in Hanrahan's Crossing, they said it was a really good job.
Yep.
Yeah. And when you see the before and after photos, you
It's
can
a big
see
difference.
why, yeah, and it was badly needed. Yeah.
Any other questions? Councillor Rutherford?
Peter, I was just wondering, do we have KPIs that are so many kilometres of road graded in a day, in a month, or anything like that? Do we
Yes.
keep that kind
Yep.
of information?
Yep.
I'd be keen to understand that at some point, not
Yep.
necessarily through a meeting, but whatever else.
Yep, okay.
If we could have that information
Yeah,
brought
we
to
track
us.
effectively the kilometre of grading, and because it's collected in our system effectively, so we can monitor and see how much we're doing per month or per quarter,
Yeah,
and the different teams that are doing it as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll get Blue to get some information we can talk about.
Yeah.
Okay.
We had quite a big discussion last night at the Alton Downs ratepayers meeting about that. Obviously I didn't have the answers, and
Yeah.
was one of the few that Blue wasn't
Yes.
wasn't at. So yeah, it's just, you know, we discussed quite at length about it. So I think it's probably vital information that I get to be able
Yep.
to take back to that community. Yeah.
Councillor Latcham?
Thanks, Mr Deputy Mayor, and through to Peter. Peter, great report. I love the fact that there's a before and after, which is always handy to see what it was and what it's turning into, which is great to see. I've just got one question on River Rose Drive in Norman Gardens.
Yeah.
And great to see it's, at this stage, it's planning on finishing in December next month.
Yep.
There was a period, I think, at their last meeting, I think it was going to push into January or February. So are things going right? Is Ergon, I think Ergon was the reason.
Ergon was the hold-up, and that's moved a little bit quicker than we
Great.
planned. Yeah, and we've been able to just get in a bit quicker on the project, so it looks like it will finish early.
Okay, that's great news. Thank you.
Councillor Kirkland?
Thanks, Mr Chair. Again, just echoing what Councillor Latcham has said there, Peter, and if you could pass that back to Blue and everyone involved, it's just the presentation of the actual report is really good in the sense that anybody can see what's happening around the region. They can see some before and after photos, which I love, and love to see more of those, in fact, of all of the projects that we do, because these reports form something that's communicable to the rest of the region, to the community that don't necessarily go out to those areas. So they can see where the ratepayer dollar is being spent. I love the fact that in the report it identifies where there's funding that's come through from other levels of government. It's really well done. So thank you so much. It means a lot to the table, I'm sure, for us, but also to the rest of the community.
Yep.
Councillor Smith, another question?
Yes, sorry, Mr
No,
Chair, I
that's
forgot
okay.
to ask this question of Peter. Just reading the list of completed for September, and there is quite a few from Pink Lily there. Are we, with the ring road going through, are we starting to do work on those roads that are going to be affected by the ring road?
Through the chair, no, we are quite mindful of what works and the interfaces, so we're pretty cautious to make sure we don't do work that may be lost.
Okay,
The only
yeah.
balancing thing is, you know, this project is over such a long period of time.
Yes.
Some of these works we will do because it could be 5 up to 10 years before it gets to that point. So we're working closely with Main Roads on where their timing is in interfaces, and yeah.
Okay. Councillor Rutherford?
Probably just a little more to Councillor Smith's one there, is that the maintenance crews are out there because of the diverted route at the moment. So the maintenance crews are there trying to bring some of those rerouted roads up to standard to take the extra traffic. So
Yep.
that's happening at the moment.
Councillor Latcham?
Thanks, Mr Deputy Mayor, and through to Peter. Peter, some of these projects have blown out a little bit, not a lot, but a little bit. Just trying to get an understanding, does that come within the contingency allocation, or does this ultimately block projects towards the end of the financial year?
It can do either, depends on the scale. So to give you a context, sometimes these projects, and we are aiming to get better at this, sometimes these estimates are done 3 and 5 years back. So, and also the full scope. You'll see the Scrubby Creek one's a good example where, you know, we've had to do some serious work with Ergon that was undetected, and there was a water main issue that was undetected. Even though we do a lot of service investigations, it's almost impossible to guarantee we won't find other things. To answer your question, typically we aim to use the contingency, but if it's a large amount, we will tackle it in the budget review process, and we will do what you just said, is we'll go, this project here is looking iffy, push it back. Okay? So it's a balancing act.
Okay, any further questions? Councillor Smith, you're happy to move the report. Seek a seconder. Councillor Rutherford. All those in favour? And that's carried. Okay, we move on to the project delivery report. Peter, across to you again.
Yep, okay, thank you.
Excuse me, Mr Chair, could we discuss all but Mount Morgan?
Yeah,
We
we'll
will.
all the projects.
Discuss
bar
that
one.
one separately?
Okay.
That's
Yeah,
correct,
so
yes.
it's right through from project 1, and we will omit project 13 at this stage. Okay,
And Karen's already got
that's
all the
Yep.
correct
okay.
resolutions there too.
Okay. So in the overall project delivery report, the projects I'll single out are the Botanic Gardens and Zoo redevelopment. So we have, the tender has closed for the amenities package, which is this package we've been out a couple of times. We've been successful in extending the grant period, and I haven't seen the actual tenders, but I can say that it looks promising, and we should be able to select a tenderer and award. So finally, you will eventually see some movement on this project. Okay. Nothing's changed with most of the other projects. If I jump down to North Rocky, oh no, Mount Morgan Pool, I should comment on that. That's proceeding well. We have the design obviously is completed, there's good construction progress made, and it's showing good signs of staying on track, so that's a good outcome for that project. That also, as you know, is externally funded as well, so there's a deadline. North Rocky Sewage Treatment Plant, the major concrete works and for the new train is being completed. It's well into the next of fitting out electricals, and it won't be too far along before we start the commissioning of that new train, which will be a big milestone, as you know. We will then take one of the others offline, which will then give us that opportunity to see what's ahead of us. What's the condition? What's the repairs? Where do we go from there? So that's really that thing that's unknown to us, but we will soon, early in the new year, be able to look at that. Gracemere and South Rockhampton STP is in the design process for a number of steps, and there is a number of tender packages that will go out hopefully before Christmas and start those works. They're some aeration, sugar dosing, and the polymer dosing system. So they're all about managing the performance of the plant, reducing odour, and buying us some time in terms of how that plant's performing. And I'm happy to take any other questions on those projects.
Okay, Councillor Kirkland.
Thanks, Mr Chair. Through you to Peter, just on that the sewage treatment plants and the actual overall scale of projects that are happening there, is the management of the biosolids included? I didn't see it here. Is it a separate thing? Does it not come under the?
It is a
Capital
separate
projects,
project.
it is.
Just to explain, at the probably 12, 18 months ago, it was part of in here, but it really is an operational thing, and it's been moved
So
back
it's
to
moved
FRW.
out to operational now. Okay,
Okay,
that's
so
what's up there.
We have been out to tender for the removal of biosolids. That's been finalised and awarded, and very soon the successful tenderer will start collecting that biosolids from south for it's effectively farm reuse. So that will occur. There's further work being done by FRW over probably the next 6 months on developing a sludge management strategy,
Perfect.
which is about
Yep.
maintaining the sludge lagoons successfully, rotating them effectively,
Yep.
and disposing of them.
Yep. And through you, Mr Chair, the same for the effluent that's being transported. The tenders, of course, were allocated ages ago for that.
Okay. Effluent's in the similar thing. So we have constructed the effluent pump station and the required infrastructure. It's now resting with the preferred tenderers who've submitted
In their court.
to invest their capital, which is their own infrastructure, to connect up. So it's the ball's in their court. We are liaising with them, but it's really on their side now for their own systems, their tanks, their pump stations, and how that works.
Okay.
Through you, Mr Chair. Yeah.
Further question?
Yeah, just on a further question to that point, is there a time frame or that where they need to comply, or do we just sit back and wait for them to build their side of the construction to make that happen? Because in the meantime, we're not actually getting rid of the effluent; it's sitting there waiting. Is it?
Right now, that effluent is going where we're licensed to put it, which is in the river.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so that will maintain, and we don't, whilst we're liaising, we haven't got a deadline. It's up to them to do it.
Right. Right. Okay.
And it's the same situation for North Rocky with other users over there. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Thanks.
Thanks, Councillor Kirkland. No further questions? Someone happy to move the report? Councillor Smith, Councillor Rutherford. All those in favour? And now remember that we're voting on everything except the Mount Morgan water supply. So that has been moved, seconded and carried. Now, Councillor Smith, you'll need to lead the meeting. Across to you again, Peter, to discuss the Mount Morgan water supply pipeline project.
Thank you. The report doesn't tell you much this time round, and that's for the reason that we have awarded the contract. There is a lot of work going on right now on preparing a new program, because, as you know, the original program was prepared many months back. So I'm hoping the next cycle, next infrastructure, we will have a more detailed program of works. We are adjusting, when you see the report for the budget review coming up next month, we are adjusting the project cash flow and obviously inserting the grant cash flow. So that's being done as we speak, which is we have to have a signed agreement between the three levels of government on milestones and our payments. There's some meetings. There was one yesterday. There was a couple to go. So when we have that all straight, we will give you a report which says, here's the start date, here's the finish date, here's the cash flow. What you will see between now and the end of this calendar year is site establishment. So The contractor will, I think you'll see probably in the next week or two, Gracemere site being established and then the Moomera site. But don't expect to see pipe being laid this side of Christmas because it's just been pushed back so long.
Okay. Peter, I've got to commend you and your team, the Mayor and everyone who's been involved, Justin, and this was almost like the impossible dream. And Councillor Rutherford there, you've been so patient and just going on, but everyone involved, the effort that has gone in is truly commendable. And I thought, I wasn't expecting to chair the meeting today, but I was going to just sort of say thank you to everybody, because the project there has been sort of so many times, there's been threads that have been holding.
It wasn't a dream, it was a nightmare at times.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
I was having nightmares anyway.
I can imagine. I know, several times the Mayor would sort of phone me there. He hadn't slept the night before, and I just sort of think that this is just the results of everybody working so well together, and I just wanted to thank everyone who has been a part of that. The Chair, the Mayor, your team, Councillor Rutherford, Justin and all, because there is this fantastic project that really, when you looked at it, it was almost an impossible dream, as you said. So I'd just like to pass on my thanks to everybody that's involved. Councillor Kirkland.
Thanks, Mr. Chair. Yes, absolute truth there. It's been a colossal effort on behalf of a lot of the officers from the organisation. Thank you so much. I do have a question just around the actual contractor, and I'm not quite sure. I just wanted to ask whether it is a sole contractor. It's not a joint venture or anything, is it? And will they be using local people for their subcontracting, as in from Rockhampton region? Is there a local procurement policy there that they're to adhere to?
Yep. So the contractor is a single contractor that we've awarded to. There are some subcontractors that obviously they will use, a range of them.
Yes.
Their whole intent is to use as much local as possible and available. That will be a challenge to them at times, because that's, as you know, there's another pipeline being constructed, and resources are tight, but they will. It's in their interest because it makes them more profit as well. Because if you're bringing people in, that eats into your. So,
that's right.
So they're trying to source all their plant and equipment, all their local resources, and they've been up here over the last few weeks meeting with various people to do that.
Thanks, Peter. Through you, Mr. Chair, back to Peter. So do they work with Angus? Does AR work with them to introduce them to local contractors that they can use?
That potentially could occur, but look, these people already know who they need to talk to very well. It's not like they're coming up here. That's what these companies do. They go into these locations and compete for those resources against the other major companies. So they're well versed in it.
So they will be using local contractors?
Where they can, and where they can't, and this project was unique on this, one of the key things is we wanted to guarantee that this project did not get delayed.
Yep.
So to do that, they've committed, if they can't get the right equipment, plant, resources, whatever, they'll bring it in, because we're paying, as you know, 16, 15, 17, depends on what day of the week, 1,000 per day.
For trucking water.
Yep.
That's right. Thanks. Thank you, Mr.
Councillor Rutherford.
Oh, amazing news. But Peter, I'm going to put a little bit more pressure on, and maybe bat my eyelashes. Would it be possible to have a pipe laid before Christmas?
One of the $700 ones.
Yes, Could we get one in the ground before Christmas?
We have a start-up workshop with the contractors and the various people next week. Let me see what options there are, okay?
That would be the most amazing Christmas present for everybody to see that first pipe
Okay,
in the
I
ground if
understand.
we could do it.
Yep, okay.
Yep. I mean, I know you've been under no pressure at all for this, so, you know, it's... Yeah.
That's right.
Mr. CEO, I didn't even see you holding over there.
He's there. Yeah, okay. No, I'm happy to have a look at that, okay?
My apologies. So, no further questions on that? So, someone happy to move? Everyone wants to move. Councillor Kirkland, Councillor Rutherford, all those in favour? Carried unanimously. Thank you, Peter, for those. Invite Councillor Smith back in. I am just so in awe of all the work that has gone on and to actually make this project happen. So I think this has been well done to everyone. Okay, we've got no notice of motions, no questions on notice, no urgent business. So I declare the meeting closed. It's 9:46 a.m. Thank you very much. There, Grant, you were right.
I wanna see how the world turns round. Let's go adventure in the deep blue sea. Home is with you wherever that may be. Home is with you wherever that may be.
Now that we've arrived here, I would not change a thing. Knew that we'd survive here and all the goodness we would bring. Of this I sing. Everybody swimming in sunshine, everybody feeling fine. Everybody join the front line, ain't nobody left behind. Everybody swimming in sunshine, everybody feeling fine. Everybody join